in this economy, weddings are expensive, guys. I have been through the wars and through the thick of it when it comes to planning my wedding. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to film a get ready with me video, and while I get ready, while I do my makeup, I'll be talking to you guys about wedding planning and how everything has been going, giving you guys all the details, how I've been planning it, how I've sourced all my vendors, and who all my vendors are, how I've been, you know, budgeting, saving, and all of that good stuff, all my bridal party stuff, all my dresses, my outfits, how I managed to get all of that. So in today's video, I'll be talking to you guys about all things wedding planning and what I've been doing and where I've been in terms of wedding planning. I am so sorry I haven't been able to film a lot of wedding content. I know you guys have been waiting for wedding content, but I haven't had the time to sit down or to go out and show you guys about all my wedding stuff. But I will insert clips in this video and I will be telling you guys about what I've been doing in terms of wedding planning, giving you guys some tips and a few things that I've learned along the way in terms of planning my own wedding. So without further ado, without me going on for days like I always do, let me get started with this video. Let me start by doing my eyebrows. So I'm actually doing something. I'm not doing my makeup just for the sake of it. I'm actually doing something today, so I thought, why not just film a video while I'm getting ready and talk to you guys and, you know, catch up, and then so you guys know where I'm at in terms of wedding planning. So let's get started. So I got engaged on the 24th of April. It was a surprise engagement. I literally had no idea it was happening. So yeah, I got engaged on the 24th of April and we decided to plan our wedding literally straight away. We didn't want to be like a year or two engaged before we actually had a wedding, so we decided to just literally start planning the wedding and have the wedding the same year. So literally after the engagement in April, I started wedding planning in May. So I literally gave myself 2 weeks or 3 weeks to just kind of take the engagement all in, and after the 2 weeks were up, I literally started wedding planning, and it was hectic, but we got through it, and I'm going to tell you guys everything that, you know, I've been doing, everything that I've had to do in terms of planning my traditional wedding. So my fiance and I will do a Q&A together. Make sure you go and watch that video when it comes out. So we'll basically be answering questions that you guys have sent over in terms of why we decided to have a wedding straight away and things like that. But I literally got engaged in April, and then I literally started planning my wedding 2 to 3 weeks after my engagement. So we didn't want a long engagement. We literally wanted to get married straight away, and that was the plan from like the beginning. We always knew that once we're engaged, we're not going to have like a long engagement. We want to literally do the thing, get married, and then be on our merry way. So when I started planning my traditional wedding, I hunted and I searched for a venue first. That was the first thing I did. Without a venue, I don't have a date, and without a date, I can't do anything else. And you need a date in order to like book vendors, to tell people, to tell you know, family to come over, to tell the bridesmaids, the groomsmen to book hotels, etc, etc. So the first thing I did when I started planning my wedding is searching for a venue. So in terms of searching for a venue, I literally looked in my area. So I looked where I lived closer to me rather than where my fiance lived, because there wasn't that many nice venues in his area. So I looked closer to my area because there were like rural areas, countryside. It looked a lot better where I live. So I basically started hunting for venues near my area. And I viewed quite a few venues, guys. I viewed a lot of venues, and each venue I went to, I was like, nah, this is not it, this is not it. And literally the last venue I went to view, we booked it literally the same day. We booked it the same day. So when I was viewing my venues, or our venues, I was going with my mum, because most of the days that I was going to book the venues, my fiance was either at work and not available to go to book the venues with me. So I was going with my mum. She kindly escorted me and she basically helped me find a venue. So every time I went to a venue, I would record it, so I send it over to him so he can also approve of the venue, and he was happy with the venue before I went ahead and actually booked it. So yeah, I went and viewed a few venues here and there, didn't like them until I literally viewed the last one, and I fell in love with the last venue. So that's basically what I did at the beginning of my planning stages, looked for a venue. So I had my venue booked back in May, paid the deposit literally as soon as I went and viewed it on the same day, paid the deposit and had that all set. So once I booked the venue, I then decided to create a invite. So I created my invite myself, and then I sent it out to all our friends and family to make sure that everyone was, you know, available. We decided on the numbers that we were going to have. So we decided to have 300 people at a traditional wedding. You guys may think that's a lot, but for us, it's nowhere near enough. I feel like my parents were, when I said 300 to them, they're like, what? That's not enough. You need more. You need like 400, 500 people. I was like, 400, 500 people? Where are we getting 400, 500 people at? Where are all these people going to go? So 300 people is a lot of people already in itself. But my parents were thinking, we need more people. That's a very low number. But yeah, we stuck to the 300, and we divided the numbers equally. So my fiance had an equal number to me, and then my parents also had numbers. I think I gave my parents 100 people, my fiance had 100 people, I had 100 people, so the 300 was kind of like shared equally between us. We all had 100 in our numbers, so I can invite 100 people of my people, he can invite 100 people, and my parents can invite 100 people. Obviously this didn't stay like that. It wasn't as easy. My parents went over their 100 and they were asking for more people, they were asking for more seats, so I kind of had to cut my numbers down, or my fiance had to cut his numbers down so that we can accommodate my parents. So I created my invite via Canva. So Canva is an amazing tool. I even use that for my YouTube thumbnails. If I'm creating anything, if I'm being, you know, if I'm creating any invites for anything, I always use Canva. So I've got a subscription which I use for my thumbnails, so I thought, why not create my own invite? So I created my own invite to just basically cut down the cost. I didn't want anyone else to create my invite and having to like pay for it when I can do it myself. I'm quite artistic in that department, so I thought, you know what, I can do this myself because I know what I want, I know how it's going to look like. So yeah, I created my own invite, and then I sent it out to all my friends and family, and then we basically started to get an RSVP together, and people that were confirming and things like that. And just to put it out there, I did not have a wedding planner. I literally planned the whole wedding myself. Because I thought it was a traditional wedding, I may need a wedding planner for my white wedding. I thought, let me just plan my traditional wedding myself. and cut down costs, because we were on a strict budget. Let's not even talk about budget. Our budget, yeah, when we first started planning our wedding, we had a very strict budget. And as we started booking things, as we started booking vendors and things like that, we quickly found out that our budget had to increase because of the things that we were booking and the things that we wanted. So the budget we started with did slowly increase, not that much, but it did slowly increase, to the point where the budget we started with was like no more. But to cut down costs, I literally planned the whole wedding myself. I didn't get a wedding planner at all, because I thought, you know what, it's a traditional wedding. I've been to so many traditional weddings, and I basically, you know, I can do this myself. I don't need a wedding planner. So that's a good shout. Obviously, if your money stretched that wide, you can have wedding planners for both. Obviously, my money didn't stretch that wide, so I decided to plan my traditional wedding myself. Also, in my culture, so I'm from Rwanda. I was born there, but I was raised here in the UK. But I literally love my culture. I love my roots. I love where I came from. So I wanted this to be 100% cultural based. I wanted it to be like a Rwandan wedding if I was back home. So we do a ceremony before the traditional, and this ceremony is called Gufata Irembo. So we did the Gufata Irembo before the traditional. So the Gufata Irembo is basically when his family come and meet my family, and then basically my family give permission for the wedding to go ahead, and his family come and state their intentions, that they're here and they want to make their intentions known and all of that jazz. I think other countries call it the knocking or the introduction ceremony. We call it the Gufata Irembo. So when his family come over to my house and they basically state their intentions and basically agree on this marriage before we actually do a marriage. So we had that ceremony in my house. So to cut down costs, we had it in my house. We didn't book a venue, we didn't book anything else. We had it in my house. There wasn't that many people invited. It was literally close family, friends, and that was about it. And they all came to my house, and then we basically just spoke to them about getting married. So during this whole ceremony, I was not allowed to be seen. When his family came, I was upstairs in my room the whole entire time, and they were outside in the marquee doing the official stuff and approving of the marriage that's going to take place and asking for my hand officially. I was in my room the whole time until everyone left. I was literally not allowed to be seen at all.
And
so
does
Vincent set this up for me to wear.
And then where does this go?
Around
the waist?
Yeah.
I love how I'm dressing you in Ugandan clothes that I genuinely
The Ghanaian is dressing us up.
don't have any clue with what I'm doing.
How do you like this?
We're gonna have to
Bare
ask.
times. That looks like the common sense thing to do.
You put it over your shoulder.
No, because it goes just in the waist.
Okay, let's start from the beginning and go around those times.
Some.
Oh, Mummy, say hi.
Hi.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
I love your outfit.
Thank you.
Your food looks amazing too.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Bye, Mummy of the bride. Come on then, Ben.
That's to drink with.
Because Ben is our mate. And when we drink with Ben, he drinks it down in 8. Come on now, 7, 6, 5. She naughty.
There you go.
To our future Ugandan brides.
Tell them again.
Yes.
Give us some shoulders. Give us some shoulders. Give us some shoulders.
Thank you.
You're very
You know what? That's
welcome.
not going to
Can't cancel you.
I can do that.
Don't kill me with that. Oh my days, don't do it.
So that happened in the midst of all the other wedding planning stuff of our traditional wedding. Now let's talk about finding my outfit and my bridesmaid's outfit and my mum's outfit and the women that were on my mum's side outfits. So I went to all the material shops in London literally to find my outfit. So my mum and I went to Liverpool Street. There's a good material shop in Liverpool Street. We went to Walthamstow, we went to Ilford, we went to Upton Park, and finding my outfit was so easy compared to finding my bridesmaid's outfit. It took me forever. Like when I tell you, it took me forever to find their material. I was literally running around in all the shop. And by the way, this shopping of material did not take me just a day. It took me weeks upon weeks, days upon days to find their material. The stressful part after finding my bridesmaids' clothes was actually finding their top and figuring out whether they're going to get their tops made or if I'm going to buy like a top that will go with the material. So I tried to get their tops made, but the tailor that I wanted to get their tops made didn't really understand the assignment. So I then decided to go and buy a top for them. So I bought their tops from PLT and Boohoo literally on the last week because I was over it. I was literally over it. It was super stressful finding my bridesmaids tops. And I also had to find tops for my other girls that were also part of my entrance and my entourage on the wedding. So I had a job and a half. And just so you guys know, I had 12 bridesmaids and I had 12 special girls. We call them the Mama Shenges. I had 12 of them and I had 12 bridesmaids, and I had to find all their material and all their tops, and that part was the worst part of my life. Like, I struggled. It was stressful trying to find their tops. But bless my mum, she came with me every single time I went to the shops. Every single time I went to the shops to buy material, my mum was there, like, helping me find material for my bridesmaids. Like, she is amazing. I could not have done this without her. Like, this whole planning process, she has been amazing. So yeah, I found my material in a shop in Upton Park. It was quite expensive, but as a bride, you gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, my material was really expensive, but my bridesmaids material was super cheap. I was so happy with them, and it looks very expensive. It looks very expensive, but when I bought it, it was super cheap. So I was quite happy with that. And my mum's material came from Nigeria, so she has a lady that plugged her, and then she ordered her material from Nigeria. So yeah, that's basically how I managed to source out all my bridesmaids material. And my material, I literally went to all the shops. So in the midst of finding my material, I was also trying to source vendors for my traditional wedding. So vendors, oh my days, it was a struggle. I had to find vendors for literally everything. So I decided to book a coordinator for the day, because I know how coordinators are very, very useful when it comes to organization, when it comes to keeping time, when it comes to ensuring that things are done correctly. I literally needed a coordinator. I was not going to do this wedding without a coordinator. So I sourced a coordinator, asked a friend, trying to find me a coordinator, and in the end we went with a coordinator that had previously done a wedding for a mutual friend of mine. So this friend is a friend of my fiance, and she basically gave us the number and she told us that we can hit her up. So we went with her. She was within our budget. We didn't want to do anything that was too expensive in terms of coordination. So she was like in our budget. She wasn't too expensive. So the coordinator was booked quite early. So after we booked the coordinator, I then went ahead and started looking for videographers and photographers. So the photographer for my traditional wedding that I ended up booking was a friend of mine. So she's a close family friend. We've known her for years. Well, I've known her for years. We've literally grown up together. So I booked her husband. So her husband does photography, so I asked him if he was, you know, able to do it, and he said yes. Seen his work, and his work has been literally amazing. So I booked him. And then for my videographer, I asked my best friend, who is my maid of honor, to help me find a videographer, because videographers, the prices that I was getting were literally out of this world. I was like, why is it so expensive? And I was like, this is just a traditional wedding. I don't want to pay like 3 grand, 4 grand for a traditional wedding. That is just crazy to me, and it's way out of our budget. So I asked my maid of honor, Nana, who's my best friend, to help me find a videographer, and she basically sourced me out a friend that we knew that lives near our area. And funny enough, we actually went to college with him, and he was like within our budget. So when I found out his prices, and when I saw his work was literally amazing. So I booked him. You know, I had a conversation with him over the phone, and he was happy to do it. He was available on the date. So yeah, that is basically how I sourced out my photographer and videographer. By the way, guys, I don't think I've mentioned this. So my wedding was booked for the 22nd of September, which is a Thursday. So because I'm 7-day Adventist, we can't have weddings on a Saturday, and my fiance is Catholic, so we can't have weddings on a Sunday. So obviously we just decided to do our weddings on a weekday. So our wedding is booked for the 22nd of September, which is a Thursday. Funny enough, loads of vendors were available because we weren't doing it on the weekend where they had other bookings, and because it was literally a last minute thing, we literally decided to plan our wedding in 4 months. I literally started planning our wedding in 4 months. So when I told them it was a Thursday, they were like, oh yeah, we don't have, you know, it's a weekday, we have no bookings that day. So they were able to kind of take us on and do our wedding, which I was very thankful for, and I was very happy that we decided to do our wedding on Thursday, where there's like not a lot going on. So those are the 2 vendors: coordinator, photographer and videographer. Who else did I book in terms of vendors? I booked an MUA that did my brother's wedding. He did my sister-in-law's makeup, and I liked, you know, how she did makeup, so I booked her as well to do mine for my traditional. She was literally amazing. Who else? So my best friend is a hairstylist, and she does hair, she does braids, she does everything to do with hair. So I literally was like, yep, I'm booking her. She's doing my hair on my wedding day, so that was super easy in terms of finding out who to do my hair. Who else? Okay, so decor wise, decoration was a big struggle. Like, oh my gosh, these decor companies are super expensive. When I tell you like expensive, they are like literally expensive. Every decor company that I was talking to, they were quoting me grands upon grands upon grands. I was like, what the hell is going on? The decor companies that I was speaking to were literally quoting me double what my venue was worth, or a lot more than what my venue was worth. Until the point I was literally over it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do my own decor. But then I was like, that's just for the ghetto, I can't be doing my own decor on the day. I hit up one of my friends, so the same friend that is married to my photographer. I hit her up, and she basically recommended me this lady that does amazing decor. So I basically hit her up and I was like, can you please do my decor? I have a budget, this is my budget, and can you, like, you know, help me out here? So I went with Victor Rose London. Her details will be on the screen. Absolutely amazing. If you go on her page and see her work is top notch. So she basically helped me out with my budget. I told her my budget, and she basically worked with me to kind of stay in my budget. She wanted to do a very good job for me. There was things that she gave for free, like she gave me, like, you know, high tables for free. She gave me a few other extra stuff for free. Like, she was just amazing. I would highly recommend booking her for your wedding. But yeah, booking decor people was literally the ghetto. I was suffering. When I tell you, I was suffering when it came to booking decor people. But yeah, the decor lady that I got was recommended to me by a close family friend, and I'm so happy I went with her because the day was amazing, absolutely amazing. So what other vendors did I get on the day? So photographer, videographer, coordinator, MUA, hairstylist, I've spoken about. Decor, I've spoken about. My auntie did my drinks reception and the bar stuff. I had a catering company that did my brother's catering for their wedding, so I booked her as well for my wedding. So yeah, so that's basically all my vendors. Vendors, guys, if you're planning a wedding, source them out early because they get booked super quick, and make sure you have a budget in mind when you actually talk to them. And just know that decor companies, getting decor for your wedding is not cheap. It is something that you're gonna have to really, you know, think about and save for before planning a wedding. Decor companies are definitely not cheap. So because our wedding is going to be a Rwandan and Ugandan wedding, I wanted to mix the two cultures together. So my fiance is from Uganda and I am from Rwanda, and I wanted to do a traditional where you can see both cultures. So when I was booking vendors, I also wanted to book dancers. So I booked Rwandan dancers from Belgium, and then I booked Ugandan dancers that are here based in the UK. And then I had to, you know, book them to perform, and I had to also book their travel, accommodation, and all of that jazz. Thankfully the Ugandan dancers were here in the UK, so I didn't have to book their accommodation. I had to book the accommodation for the Rwandan dancers who are coming from Belgium. I had to book them to stay for 2 nights and their travel while they were here. I wanted to blend the cultures. I wanted the guests to feel like they were at a Rwandan and Ugandan wedding. I didn't want it to be solely Rwandan, even though in my culture the traditional wedding is mainly for the bride's family. It's the bride's family that's doing everything, that's welcoming the groom's family. But I wanted it to be you know, a wedding full of cultures, both cultures, the Ugandan and Rwandan, mixed and intertwined together. So hence why I booked both Ugandan and Rwandan dancers. So yeah, so that's the 2 things that I wanted to do in terms of like blending the 2 cultures together. In terms of how I organized the whole wedding and how I organized myself, I was writing everything down. I had a wedding planner diary. Let me just grab that and show you guys. So this is my wedding planner for my traditional wedding. So I have 2 wedding planners. I have one for my white wedding and one for my traditional wedding. This one is for my traditional wedding. I basically wrote down every single thing in this book. So how much each material was, how much the venue was, how much the caterers was, how much the vendors were. Everything was in this book, and this is how I stayed on topic, and this is how I prioritized, and this is how I created my checklist. If my checklist wasn't in here, it was on my phone notes, just making sure that I was literally on task. So this is what I was using. Yeah, so this was actually gifted to me by one of my fiance's colleagues. They gave this to me as an engagement present, and I was like, thank God for that. I don't have to buy one, and it was super useful. So yeah, that's basically how I stayed on top of everything and how I organized myself. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys in terms of wedding planning is how we basically saved for a traditional wedding. So saving was a big thing within our relationship before we got engaged. Like, we planned for our weddings, our home, our life together while we were still boyfriend and girlfriend. So we weren't just in a relationship just sitting there anyhow, not doing anything. We decided to save our coins for a wedding that will happen in the near future. We had some savings by the time we got engaged, and thank God we did, because if we didn't have any savings, we would have literally been engaged for about a good 2 to 3 years before actually getting married. But because we had some savings prior to getting engaged, it helped out a lot. Also, with the savings, our families chipped in. So, you know, both our families chipped in and helped us with the wedding. We had family and friends send us money. So we were literally so, you know, supported in this whole process. We had a lot of help. We had a lot of financial help, and we also had our own savings that we put together. So I did overtime at work. I was doing about 4 to 5 shifts a week. He was doing overtime, I was doing overtime, because I can have quite expensive taste, and I have, you know, a vision of what my wedding would look like. So if I want that vision to come to reality, I have to then find the money for it. So if I wanted that particular dress and it cost me like, I don't know, £200, I'm making sure that I'm doing 1 shift to be able to pay for that dress. Do you know what I mean? So I, you know, put in the work, he put in the work, we all put in the work and saved for our wedding. So yeah, it took us a couple years prior to us getting, you know, married and engaged to actually save for the wedding. So when the actual proposal came round, we were like, okay, cool, here's the money we've been saving for our wedding, let's start using it for our wedding. So that's a very, you know, plus, and I will highly recommend for anyone that's, you know, in a relationship that wants to get married or thinking about an engagement, just make sure that you save for your wedding while you're still, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, while you're still thinking about marriage. Because once that marriage comes, the coins will add up. People will be asking you for money left, right and center. Vendors need to get paid, venues need to get paid, your food, your dress, your hair, your makeup, it's all money. So I would highly recommend that if you are in a relationship and you want to get married in the near future, you start saving while you still have time to save, because that's one thing that helped us out. We saved from early. Like, I remember finishing my degree. As soon as I finished my degree and I started working, I was saving literally every month. Every single month without fail, I was putting money aside for my future wedding. And at this point, I didn't even know I was going to marry my boyfriend back then. Like, it wasn't set in stone, but I was just like, I'm gonna get married one day, so let me just save for that in case that one day comes. I need to be prepared. So even before I knew about Vince, even before I was with Vince and I wasn't, you know, 100% sure that we were gonna get married, I was still saving regardless. Like, I was still saving, because even if I don't get married, at least I have savings. Do you understand? So yeah, we saved from the jump, like from the jump. In this economy, weddings are expensive. So we thank God that we saved from early, because without that, we would have had to postpone our wedding and literally get married 2 to 3 years after our engagement, because that would have been the absolute ghetto. So that's basically our saving plan. If you want me to go into detail in terms of how we saved, how much we saved, how we managed to put the money all together, get this video to 1,000 likes, 1,000 views, and I'll do the video. yeah, that's your incentive, guys, to get this video to 1,000 views and 1,000 likes. And I'll do a saving for a wedding video, and I'll break it down to you guys how we actually saved and what and how much we put aside every month and where the money came from and all of that good stuff. Okay, so while we're on the topic of money and work, let's talk about work for me. So work has been very hectic, hence why I haven't been able to like film content. My Instagram has literally been, you know, not seeing me for the longest time. So I've been working literally non-stop because I work basically full-time. So a couple of weeks ago I decided to actually go part-time and cut down my hours, because I figured it out. I was like, you know what, if I go part-time I will actually earn more money than I am full-time. I know it sounds weird, but the NHS has this weird thing that you can get around it. Hold on, let me just put this lash on and then talk to you guys. But yeah, as we're saying, the NHS, there's ways of getting around things and there's a way of making more money than you do while working. So I decided to go part-time like 2 weeks ago, and I cut down my hours to part-time, because I figured out that I will be able to earn more money working as part-time, and this is the reason why. So basically in the NHS there's something called bank. So working as a bank midwife and then working also your normal job. So I decided to do bank alongside my full-time job. So I went part-time so I can do bank work. Because bank work, there's a lot of money to be made in bank work, and it's very, very flexible, and I can have a lot more time in terms of doing everything else, wedding planning and things like that. So I went part-time and I picked up some bank work, and it turns out that I'd be making more money working as a part-time midwife and doing bank on the side. So that is what I'm currently doing. I'm working part-time and then I'm picking up bank shifts, and I'm making a lot more money than I would be doing if I was working full-time, because I got a wedding to pay for, I got a house to pay for. So yeah, that's basically what I decided to do in terms of my work life, seeing as we were on the subject. But I feel like it was the best decision for me, and I am so happy in that decision, because there's times where I'm doing that 4th week or 4-hour shifts and I'll be tired and I'll be physically, mentally drained, and I can't do it anymore. So I want to be able to do just the 3 shifts a week and have my 4 days off, and if I want to do a bank, I'll pick up the bank and I'll make more money. So thank God for the NHS and that kind of system, because 9 to 5 ain't for me. I'll be tired working a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. But you know, doing my 3 days now is a lot easier for me, and I make a lot more money doing my extra bank shifts here and there, and I get to rest if I want to rest and things like that. So yeah, so that's the reason why I've gone part-time. Let me talk to you guys about the stressfulness of actually planning a wedding. Guys, I have been through the wars and through the thick of it when it comes to planning my wedding, our wedding. So basically there's been times where I've had disagreements with vendors, and I've been going back and forth with vendors and trying to sort them out. Literally guys, it's been super stressful. Like I had disagreements with my caterer literally a week before my wedding, and I thought she was going to literally say I'm not doing it anymore. So there was things that she was saying that she's not going to do anymore. She's going to come and drop the food and leave, and then we're going to have to sort it out ourselves. She's not going to, you know, provide the necessary document that the venue needs in order for her to like serve the food on their premises. Like guys, wedding planning has been super stressful. Things like finding my bridesmaids tops. Like I was stressed for days trying to find a tailor to make my tops for my bridesmaids, or a tailor to fix my bridesmaid tops. In terms of my top, it wasn't as stressful. I managed to find a very, you know, reliable source to help me create my dream top, like the dream corset that I had envisioned. So literally she made my top perfectly and the way I envisioned it, and it literally came out and turned out to be so beautiful. but it's been so stressful. Like, I've had to chase people up that said they were gonna get back to me with stuff. I've had to pay people constantly, and that's even super stressful within itself. I mean, like, yeah, obviously you sign up for it, you agree to do the service, and you agree on your end to take the service, but guys, I never experienced money leaving my account like every 2 seconds. Like, that was even super stressful in itself. But yeah, it's been super stressful, having to go source things, having to go find things, having to guys, I even broke out. I had like a stress spot, which is even still here. It literally came a week before my wedding, and I was like literally on the verge of breaking down because this spot just came to ruin my wedding day. So literally, when I get stressed, a spot appears on my upper lip, and it comes on the exact same place, and it doesn't go after like a couple weeks, so it's even still here. So that's how stressful I've been. That's how crazy it's been. But I've had such amazing support, guys. My maid of honors, my bridesmaids, my family, everyone literally came together to make the day a success. Everyone helped me plan. It's so important to get a team behind you to help you like find things. And one thing I would recommend is delegation. Delegate to people. Don't try and do things on your own. Like, tell people, can you be in charge of this, can you be in charge of that, rather than doing every single thing by yourself. So I'm so thankful for my bridal party, my family, my friends that helped me out when it came to like sourcing things, finding things. I wasn't basically doing everything on my own. Thank God for that. But we managed to pull it off. We managed to, you know, put together a great event. And yeah, I am super thankful for my circle and the people I decided to make my bridesmaids. They have been nothing but amazing, guys, honestly. I couldn't thank them enough. They've been literally amazing right from the beginning. So in terms of ceremonies that's coming or that's going to be happening, so I'm going to have my no, absolutely not. That is too bright. That is way too bright. Nah, that's way too bright. I can't find my lipstick that I normally wear. Nah, that's too bright. That is too pink for my liking. I do not like a pink lip. Yeah, guys, half of my makeup is like MIA. I need to literally find all my makeup. Everything is scattered everywhere. Hence why I'm now experimenting. I've never used that lip before. I don't know why I decided to use it today for the video, but you know, let's fix this. Let's see what I can do. I think I'm just gonna have to start again with my lip because this ain't it. I need to find some makeup wipes. Nope. Let's start again. So yeah, guys, in terms of wedding ceremonies, so I've done 2 already. I've done the Gufata Irembo, which was in June. I've done the traditional wedding. So what's next is the registry and the white wedding, depending on the order we do it on. But that's the 2 ceremonies that are happening next. My white wedding will definitely be next year. It will not happen in the same year because that's just too much to happen on one year. That's too much stress. So yeah, my white wedding will definitely be next year. But so far we've done 2 ceremonies. And then the rest will happen next year. But yeah, guys, I hope I have basically explained the whole wedding process and how it's been going. This was just a quick chit chat while I do my makeup, because it's been a while since I've done a wedding video. But I hope I haven't missed out anything in terms of wedding planning. Yeah, I don't think I've missed anything out. If I have missed anything, please do go and watch my Q&A with my fiance. I'll link it in the description box below, so be sure to go check that out. In terms of wedding planning, it's been an eventful journey, it's been a stressful journey, and it's also been an interesting journey. Would I do it again? I will do it again for somebody else, but yeah, it's been stressful. I would definitely help a friend or a sister or a cousin, a family member in planning their wedding, but when you're doing it yourself, Lord, it's actually a lot. There's a lot that come into it. But it's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey. It's been stressful, but I made it. We made it through to the other side. We made it. Oh yeah, before I finish this video, I wanted to just let you know that most of my bridal items, such as the traditional items like baskets and walking stick, I actually sourced them out from Rwanda. So I had people that were flying to Rwanda and then bringing stuff back for me. That's a good way to bring stuff back from home. If you're trying to plan a traditional wedding, just see if there's anyone in Rwanda at that time, or whoever's flying out there, that could bring stuff out to you if you're doing a traditional wedding. Also, I sourced some of the headpieces myself, so if you're doing a wedding and you need some headpieces, just hit me up and I can sell those to you if you are doing a Rwandan wedding, because I just bought them in bulk. So I have a lot of headgear for bridal and bridal parties, so if you're looking for any, just hit me up. But that's how I sourced out most of my items. I literally sent an auntie, or an auntie was there and she basically got my stuff sent over, or she came back with the stuff, and that's basically how I got most of my traditional items from back home, which helped me out a lot, because I was like, how am I gonna get, you know, the items? We're planning this wedding in 4 months. I'm not going to be able to fly out there. I thankfully had people that were flying. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this video was useful to you guys and you guys took something from this video. And yeah, I'll definitely catch you in the next video. Be sure to do all that good stuff, like, comment and subscribe to your girl's channel, and I'll definitely be seeing you guys in my next video. Until then, bye.